I give him all my love. That's all I do. And if you saw my love, you'd love him too. Do my love. Do
Hello there guys, and welcome to another one of my reviews. Today we are driving a special car. It is BMW's first plug-in hybrid, and it is an SUV, as you probably figured out by now. It's the BMW X5 xDrive40e. We have a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna get right to it. The xDrive40e is a name that suggests the power under the hood, and it doesn't have anything to do with the size of the engine. As you probably know, BMW changed the way it names its cars just to represent the power output, not the engine size. So this car uses a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine under the hood and an electric motor encased in the gearbox. The petrol engine under the hood makes 245 horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque, while the electric motor makes 113 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque, which are available from 0 RPM, as you probably already know, related to electric motors. Now, unlike on the i8 or the i3, the power of the two powertrains doesn't add up exactly. So the overall output of the car is 313 horsepower and up to 450 Newton meters of torque. That's plenty to get up and going really fast, and the car feels extremely zippy off the line. It will do 100 kilometers an hour in from standstill in 6.8 seconds, as you're about to see. From there on out, it will go up to a top speed of 130 miles an hour, which is roughly 230 kilometers an hour, which doesn't really matter because this car was designed to be used inside cities. Why am I saying that? Because a plug-in hybrid will always be aimed at urban people. So if you're I don't know, a new mom and you need a lot of space for your kids and safety and so on, you can buy the X5. But what sets the X5 apart from other cars in the range in terms of exterior design? Well, you'll notice the blue hue of the kidney grills up front. That's a dead giveaway, as well as the extra fuel cap on the front left fender, which accommodates the charging port. There are also eye badges all around the car, and eDrive stickers on the door sills and on the C-pillar. Of course, all of that can be removed, as well as the xDrive40e badges on the doors. So if you want to go stealth, you can do that, and you can replace the front kidney grills that are blue in standard guise with black ones or whatever you like. But inside the car, the instrument cluster will show the battery charge and a couple of eDrive signal badges, and you have one in the center armrest right in front of the cup holder, so you cannot hide this car's character perfectly. Now, speaking of the technical side of things, we have an electric motor which can make 113 horsepower and 250 Newton meters of torque, which is adequate in city traffic, in heavy congestion. It will get the job done. The car doesn't feel extremely slow when it's using that engine, even though it is rather heavier than a normal BMW X5 because of the battery packs hidden in the boot. However, the battery isn't all that big. It has only 7 kilowatts of juice in it, so considering this car will usually eat up about 30 kilowatts hour for 100 kilometers covered, the electric range isn't all that mind-blowing. So BMW claims it will do 20 miles on electric mode alone. That should be enough to get you to work and back again, only using electricity. And that's why this car was set up this way. It was made for people who want to go to their office and back again, do their chores around town using electricity alone in an effort to reduce the pollution inside city centers. If you have a plug at work or a plug at home, you can charge the car and you can drive around town using electricity alone. Of course, once you push the pedal to the metal, the gasoline engine will kick in without you even noticing it. It is a really sweet and smooth transition, and it will offer all the power on tap, which is 313 horsepower. So this car never feels slow. Around town, I managed to get 30 kilometers of electric range out of this car. However, I should mention that they were ideal conditions. It was at night, and there was absolutely no one inside the city, so the traffic was really clear. But in heavy traffic, I'm guessing that number will drop to about 20 kilometers, which still should be enough to get you to work and back again, according to BMW's calculations anyway. So around town, when using the car's automatic driving modes, because this car has, apart from the usual Eco, Pro, Comfort and Sport modes, it has 3 other driving modes related to the electric motor. They are Auto e-Drive, which is the standard driving mode when you start the car. You have Max e-Drive, and you have Safe Battery mode. In Auto e-Drive mode, the car will run on electricity as much as possible. It will do so until it depletes its battery, which doesn't really make sense to me. To me, a better configuration would have been to set up the electric motor just to get the car rolling, and once you reach about 20 kilometers an hour, kick in the electric motor and continue on your way that way, because this would have been a more efficient way to use the energy. However, in Auto e-Drive mode, the car will simply use the electric motor all the time, basically. And to me, especially, it didn't feel all that different from Max e-Drive mode, which is supposed to use the electric motor at all times. So these two modes don't feel all that different to me. In Safe Battery mode, the car will use its petrol engine all the time in order to save your battery in case you want to use it later. I should also point out that if you use Sport mode, you can basically recharge your batteries. Yes, the car will sip a lot more fuel and it will act accordingly, but you can recharge your battery up to 80% just by using Sport mode. So while you're having fun driving this car, your battery gets recharged in case you end up in a city center or somewhere where you want to use the electric motor alone. You can do that. So as I said, the car can only do about 20 to maximum 30 kilometers on e-drive mode using electricity alone. That's kind of disappointing to me, but this is just the first effort from BMW. This is basically their first plug-in hybrid car they ever made, and it's an SUV. It's a big SUV. It's a good effort. It's a good start. The main issue I have with this car is the fact that recharging the small battery, because by today's standards the battery is rather small, takes about 3 hours on a normal outlet. and that is a long time to wait. No, it actually takes 3 hours to charge on a 22 kilowatt station. If you're using a regular power socket at home, it will take up to 6 hours, and you know that doesn't work all the time. Of course, if you get to your office and you're gonna spend 8 hours over there, the car will recharge itself in time for you to go home using electricity alone. But it is rather disappointing how slow this car recharges. And adding up the small range you get for eDrive mode, I really couldn't recommend it. It is a nice effort, but it is still lagging behind. However, I should also point out that the hybrid technology on board makes this car extremely enjoyable to drive. You get instant torque, and it is really zippy off the line. The nose is rather light because the engine is a 2-liter petrol engine which has an aluminum block, and it is rather small, and the nose is rather light. The rear is a bit heavier because of the battery packs, and the car tends to behave extremely interesting for a BMW. It will oversteer if you want it to, but the nose feels light, so you can actually use the rear axle to steer, even though this is an xDrive vehicle. So yeah, it is really fun to drive. One of my gripes is the steering, even in sport mode, is a bit artificially light. It is too light to my liking. Other than that, what can I say? The interior is typical BMW. A lot of good materials have been used. The design is great. This car doesn't have the optional digital instrument cluster, but the analog one will do. And of course, it has the panoramic sunroof, which is a nice touch if you want to look up at the stars at night. Around town, fuel consumption will be interesting. The thing is, when you drive in eDrive mode, of course, using only the battery power, your fuel consumption will be 0. But if you're going into comfort mode and you're allowing the car to drive in auto eDrive mode, you'll see a fuel consumption of around 10 liters per 100 kilometers. It is a bit much compared to what we're used to these days, but you need to remember that it uses a 2-liter petrol engine, and this is a 2.4 ton car, so it's really not that bad. Outside the city limits on the highway, I saw a fuel consumption of about 10 liters per 100 kilometers as well, and it will depend a lot on how charged your battery is when you're leaving town, because you know, it will help out in different situations, but most of the times the battery will be depleted and you'll just end up using the petrol engine when you're going on a longer trip. So yeah, 10 liters per 100 kilometers is a nice touch. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's just right, because after all, this is a heavy car. So overall, this BMW isn't exactly what you would need if you wanted a plug-in hybrid, because of the limited range and the long charging time. But BMW is working on a new model. The new BMW X5 will come out this year, later this year, and it will come with another plug-in hybrid model, and sources are telling me that there's work being done on a fully electric model, just like the new BMW iX3, which will come out also in 2020, but we'll still have to wait a while for it to show up. It will be available in different guises with different battery packs and different power levels, so that's going to be interesting to drive, to see how this car evolves over the year. So over the years. So this has been my review of the BMW X5 xDrive40e. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any additional questions, don't be shy to hit me up in the comment section below. I'm more than willing to answer all of your questions. Until next time, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.